Welcome to the 2022 Divers Award, celebrating excellence in young adult literature that features and normalizes neurodiversity. Many of you may be wondering, what is neurodiversity? Put simply, neurodiversity is the idea that everyone experiences and interacts with the world differently. Whether it's autism, ADHD, anxiety, or depression, there is no one right way of thinking, learning, or behaving. Differences are normal, not deficits. Rather than use phrases like neurodivergent, which can have negative connotations by inferring there is a standard not being met, neurodiversity acknowledges all different forms of mental health, wellness, and being. Neurodiversity recognizes that both biological brain function and behavioral traits are just indicators of how diverse human beings are. Based on various studies, between 15 and 20% of the population is considered neurodiverse. But despite this fact, neurodiversity is still largely stigmatized. That's where the Divers Award comes in. The Divers Award celebrates and honors authors who have made significant contributions to normalizing neurodiversity in young adult literature. Rather than skimming the surface, these works dive deeply into the neurodiverse experience. Well, we at Divers Awards believe that everyone needs these books in order to further destigmatize and normalize neurodiversity. This award in particular is for those young adults who themselves are neurodiverse. These readers may struggle in social situations, have learning differences, or live with anxiety and depression. Given the stigma around neurodiversity, young adults not only deserve but need to see their experiences mirrored in what they read. The Divers honors works that openly address mental health and neurodiversity, actively combat neurodiverse narratives that frame neurodiversity as a disability or divergence. These works are specifically written for young adults, and they've been published within the past 2 years in order to keep up with scientific and social advancements. All that being said, it's time to announce this year's winner and honorees. Our first honoree is Somewhere Between Bitter and Sweet by Lake and Zia Kemp. Told from both protagonists' perspectives, Somewhere Between Bitter and Sweet follows Penelope and Xander, two teens both struggling with circumstances beyond their control. When Pen's parents kick her out for a secret she's been hiding, she's forced to grapple with independence while also managing her anxiety disorder. Miss Kemp depicts Pen's anxiety with care, often detailing the crippling anxiety attacks in a stream of consciousness style that captures the spiraling effect of panic attacks. Somewhere Between Bitter and Sweet also acknowledges the harmful effects families can have on their loved ones when they fail to, or even worse, refuse to recognize their neurodiversity. Our next honoree is White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson. When Marigold's new blended family moves to the dilapidated town of Cedarville for her mom's new job that comes with a free fancy house, it provides a perfect opportunity for Marie to escape from her past mistakes. However, things in the new home aren't all they seem. Items begin vanishing, voices come from inside the walls, and Marie's new stepsister, Piper, keeps talking to a new imaginary friend. White Smoke not only portrays instances of panic disorders, but addiction as well. Although Marie is regularly reminded of her neurodiversity by her new stepfather, she doesn't allow that to interfere with protecting her loved ones. Marie's coping mechanisms, time with talk therapists, and use of antidepressants all normalize seeking help when one is neurodiverse. Throughout her career, Miss Jackson has featured neurodiverse Black characters, a population generally underserved in regard to mental health and well-being. Our final honoree is In the Wild Light by Jeff Sentner. Cash isn't a genius. That's his best friend, Delaney. When Delaney wins a scholarship to a private boarding school for a discovery the two found together that could take her away from their impoverished town and her mother struggling with addiction, she refuses to go unless Cash joins her. Although reluctant to leave his ailing grandfather behind, Cash joins Delaney and learns what can be gained by seizing the opportunities that frighten us the most. Jeff Sentner seamlessly inserts Laney's neurodiversity throughout the entirety of In the Wild Light. While a genius, she often struggles socially and avoids physical contact, Cash being the only exception. Rather than depict Delaney's neurodiversity as a flaw or disability, Mr. Zentner presents a neurodiverse character who excels in various aspects beyond her peers' comprehension. Similarly, Mr. Zentner examines the lasting effects of post traumatic stress disorder as Cash deals with recurring nightmares stemming from his mother's deadly overdose. And finally, this year's winner is Button Pusher by Tyler Page. In this graphic memoir, otherwise known as graphic novel memoir, Tyler is diagnosed with ADHD. But before this, to the adults in his life, Tyler seems like a troublemaker. He has no idea why he can't concentrate in class or why sometimes he acts out in strange or over the top ways. Cartoonist Tyler Page examines his childhood diagnosis, detailing the effects of Ritalin and his own father's apparent undiagnosed attention deficit disorder on his childhood. This authentic firsthand account of the neurodiverse experience provides a wealth of information on neurodiversity. Page includes memories from his childhood as well as copies of his actual medical records from the time of his diagnosis and treatment. Similarly, he inserts scientific and historical information about attention deficit disorders, the history of treatment options, as well as famous and successful neurodiverse people who also have attention deficit disorders. The mix of personal story with detailed information not only allows neurodiverse readers to see some of their experiences mirrored back at them, it also provides a plethora of information to help destigmatize those who may have been deemed problem children in the past. Congratulations to all our honorees and winners. We at the Divers Award for Neurodiverse Representation in Young Adult Literature would like to thank you for joining us today.